All right, so today we are going to work on chapter 7.4, scientific notation. Scientific notation is a method for expressing very large or very small numbers. It is a shorthand method for writing numbers. So when you think of this, scientific notation is actually made up of three parts. So you have your coefficient, you have your base, and you have your exponent. And if you look down here real quick, it says 5.67 times 10 to the fifth. So this little arrow that's pointing to the 5.67 is our coefficient, and this 10 is our base, and that 5 is our exponent, like everyone should know. This is a scientific notation for the standard number 567,000. So we will be learning about standard notation in a few pages coming up. So, in order for a number to be in correct scientific notation, the following conditions must be true. So, first, the coefficient must be greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10. It can be 9.9 repeating, but it cannot be 10. But, like I said, it can be 1. The base must be 10, just like up here. This base must be 10. And lastly, the exponent must show the number of decimal places that the decimal needs to be moved to change the number to standard notation. So if we look down at the bottom of our paper, it says example 1, writing a number in standard form. This is our scientific notation given right here. It says 5.67 times 10 to the fifth. Since 5 is positive, we move our decimal to the right 5 places. And like what I like to do is write out 5.67, and then we start at our decimal place, and since this says 5 up here, we move our decimal place 5 times. So I just drew little humps to realize where to move and how many times I needed to move. So I moved it 5 times and got the answer 567,000. All right. If you go ahead and flip to the back page, example 2, writing a number in standard form. So like I said, this is in scientific notation currently. 2.68 times 10 to the negative 4. Since 4 is negative, we move the decimal 4 spaces to the left. So I wrote 2.68, and I took the decimal and moved it 4 places to the left and added the zeros where there was empty spots, and then you just put the decimal spot at the end, like I have right here, 0.000268. If you need to slow down and pause, go ahead and do so. Example 3, writing a number in scientific notation. So this is our standard form currently. So we start at the end of our number and we move to the left however many spots we need to get to the first non-zero number. So we need to move all the way until we get to the first non-zero number over here. So that is how I got 2.674 times 10 to the sixth. And the reason why I got 6 as our exponent, because I moved 6 times, so there's 3, 4, 5, 6. So our number has to be greater than 1 and less than 10. Is that true? Yes. Where should we put the decimal? Since we made our number smaller, our exponent is positive. In example 4, we're writing a number in scientific notation. So like I said before, this is our standard form. Now we need to convert it into scientific notation like we saw on the first page. So now we start at this decimal spot and move to the right so we get to the first non-zero number, which is 9. And we move this 3 times. So when you move it to the right, it's actually going to turn into a negative, and this turns into a 9.6 for our coefficient. So now you can go ahead and pause your video and fill out the notes, and then you can actually move on to the second page and look at the answer to each question up above. So the first 6 problems, you're going to write each number in scientific notation. And here's the answers for all 6 of them. And then 7 through 12, you're going to write each number in standard form, which the answers are listed below. And like I said, pause in between just so you can fill it out, do your own work, just like I had done. Once you're done with that, flip on over to the scientific notation page. So, like I said, it's just more practice. The more practice, the better. And we had 2.47, and we need to move it to the left 3 times because it is negative. So that's how I got 0.00247. And so on and so forth. As you can see, the answers are listed for 1 through 12. So now, if you look at the bottom of the page, you can go ahead and pause the video again and try to work on your own. And these are giving us in standard form. Now we need to turn them into scientific notation form. Once you're done filling out that page, go ahead and flip on over. If we go ahead and look up top here, if we fill in the few blank spots, it says if exponent is positive, then we're going to move the decimal to the right, add zeros where needed. And also don't forget the commas. If exponent is negative, move decimal to the left and add zeros where is needed. And like I said, don't forget the decimals. So if we have 7.5 times 10 to the 5th in scientific notation, our standard form turns into 750,000 because I moved this 5 times. And with the negative, remember, when it's a negative, we move our decimal to the left however many times it says. And if you look at the bottom of the page, we just have more practice. And the more practice, the better. So you can go ahead and pause this video again and work on your own. And then once you are done, you can check back into the video and see if you got the correct answers. And that is all for Chapter 7-4, Scientific Notation.